Welcome back to English Speaking Corner, your quiet space for building real speaking confidence. Today, we are not just learning new words. We are going to fix the boring filter that makes your English sound flat and stops conversations before they even start. Imagine you're at lunch with a new colleague. The conversation is going well, and then they ask, "So, what are your hobbies?" Your brain freezes. You panic. You say, "I like watching TV." The conversation stops immediately. There is an awkward silence. You feel boring. But you are not boring. You just lack the bridge to connect your life to your English.
I used to hate that question so much. When I first moved to a new city, I felt like my life wasn't exciting enough for English conversation. I thought I had to say I went skydiving or climbed mountains to be interesting. So when people asked me what I did on the weekend, I just gave short answers to hide. But that just made me push people away, and I felt really lonely.
That is exactly what we are going to change today. In this episode, we will practice 3 simple sentence patterns to turn your quiet habits into interesting connections so you can listen, shadow, and speak with your true personality.
It is a terrible feeling, isn't it? You have a rich inner life. You have thoughts, feelings, and opinions in your native language. But when you switch to English, you suddenly feel like a child or a robot.
Exactly. We call this the personality gap. It's the distance between who you are in your first language and who you are in English. And the main reason this gap exists is that we are afraid of making mistakes. Because we are afraid, we keep our sentences very short. Subject, verb, object. I like sleep. I watch TV. I clean the house.
Those sentences are grammatically correct. There's no mistake in them, but they are conversation killers. They act like a stop sign. If I tell you I like sleep, there's nowhere for you to go. You have to work very hard to think of the next question.
That is right. And when you make the other person work hard, the conversation feels heavy. Today, we are going to learn how to be low effort for your listening partner. We want to give them little hooks, little handles they can grab onto to keep talking. And the best news is you do not need complex grammar to do this. You just need a different structure.
So where do we start? What's the first thing we need to change about our mindset?
The first shift is moving from facts to feelings. A fact is cold. I watched a movie is a fact. I went to the park is a fact. Facts do not have emotion, but connection happens through emotion.
So instead of just reporting the news of our life, we need to share the experience of our life.
Precisely. Let's look at our first formula. I call this the specific slice. The biggest mistake learners make is using general category words. Words like music, food, travel, or movies. These words are too big. They are meaningless because everybody likes music. Everybody eats food.
If I say I like music, I haven't really told you anything about who I am.
Exactly. So Formula A is about zooming in. We are going to use a specific structure. I listen to general category mostly, but lately I've been getting into specific slice.
I like that phrase, getting into. It sounds very natural. It means you are becoming interested in something recently.
Yes, it implies action and change, which is interesting. Let's try an example. Mark, imagine I ask you about your music taste. Don't just say, I like pop music. Use the formula.
Okay, I listen to pop music mostly, but lately I've been getting into 90s jazz.
See how different that feels? 90s jazz is a specific slice. It gives me a picture. I can imagine a smoky club or a rainy night. It gives me a question to ask. Oh, Willie, like Miles Davis, or why jazz?
It feels much more open. It invites you in.
Let's practice this. I want our listeners to shadow this pattern. I will say the boring version, and then we will build the interesting version together. Listen to the rhythm, and then speak out loud during the pause. Here is the boring version. I like reading. Now, let's use the formula. I read novels mostly, but lately I've been getting into biographies. Try to say that whole sentence. I read novels mostly, but lately I've been getting into biographies. Good. Let's try another one. This is a very common one, the boring version. I like cooking. Now, let's zoom in. I cook pasta mostly, but lately I've been getting into spicy Thai food. Your turn. Speak it out loud. I cook pasta mostly, but lately I've been getting into spicy Thai food. And one more, the boring version. I like exercise. The specific slice. I go running mostly, but lately I've been getting into yoga. Give it a try. I go running mostly, but lately I've been getting into yoga. Notice how the grammar is still simple. We are just adding detail. We are slicing the big cake of exercise into a specific slice called yoga. This makes you sound instantly more sophisticated.
I love that. It is such a small change, but it changes the energy completely. But Anna, what if I really do have boring hobbies? What if I literally just sleep or clean my house on the weekend? How can I make cleaning sound interesting?
That is a great question, and it leads us to Formula B. This is my favorite one. It is called the why, or more specifically, because it makes me feel.
Ah, so we are connecting the action to the emotion.
Yes. Remember, nobody really cares what you do. They care why you do it. They care about your human experience. If you say, I cleaned my apartment, that is a chore. Nobody wants to talk about chores. But if you tell me how it changed your mood, that is a story.
So the structure is activity plus because it makes me feel plus adjective.
Exactly. Let's look at sleeping. If I ask, what did you do this weekend? And you say, I just slept, I might think you are lazy or depressed. But try applying the formula.
Okay. I slept a lot because it makes me feel refreshed for the week ahead.
Suddenly, you are not lazy. You are responsible. You are taking care of yourself. I can relate to that because I also want to feel refreshed.
It transforms the meaning completely. Let's try cleaning.
I cleaned my apartment because it makes me feel calm when everything is organized.
That is powerful. Now I know something about your personality. You value calmness. You value organization. We are having a real conversation now.
Let's practice this one with our listeners. This is very useful for boring activities. I will give you the activity, and Mark will give you the feeling. Then you repeat the full sentence.
The activity is walking. The feeling is clear-headed.
Listen to the combination. I like walking because it makes me feel clear-headed. Now you say it.
I like walking because it makes me feel clear-headed.
Great. Let's try watching TV. The feeling is relaxed. But let's use a better phrase than relaxed. Let's use switch off.
I watch TV because it helps me switch off my brain after work.
That is a very natural phrase, switch off my brain. Try to say the whole thing.
I watch TV because it helps me switch off my brain after work.
One more. Gardening, or just taking care of plants. The feeling is peaceful.
I take care of my plants because it makes me feel peaceful.
Your turn. I take care of my plants because it makes me feel peaceful.
You see, even if you just stared at a wall all weekend, you could say, I did nothing because it makes me feel creative to have quiet time. And suddenly you are a philosopher.
Exactly. You are never boring if you share your feelings. The activity doesn't matter. The emotion matters.
This is really changing how I think about small talk. It is not about impressing people. It is about relating to them.
Yes. And before we move on to how to describe your job, I want to remind you that if you are finding these patterns helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We create these episodes specifically to be your quiet practice partner, so you can make mistakes here with us and not out there in the high-pressure world. If you want to build this habit with us, click that button now.
Okay, Anna. We have covered hobbies. We have covered the weekend. But there is one place where I feel the most boring, and that is work.
The dreaded question, what do you do?
I dread it. I used to say I am an office administrator, and the other person would just say, oh, cool, and then look at their phone. It is a conversation stopper.
Jobs are often difficult to describe because the titles are boring. Accountant, project manager, sales assistant. These titles don't tell a story. So we need to apply our fact versus feeling rule here too. But for work, we change it slightly. We change it to function versus value.
What do you mean by value?
Value means how do you help people? What is the result of your work? Don't tell me the process, tell me the result.
So instead of saying I type emails, I should say what the emails achieve.
Yes. Let's look at your example. Office administrator. That sounds like you just sit at a desk. But what do you actually do? You make sure the team has what they need. You organize the chaos. You help people do their jobs.
That is true. So I could say I work in administration. I basically help the whole team run smoothly.
I help the team run smoothly. That is a story. That is active.
What about an accountant? That is traditionally seen as a boring job.
An accountant deals with numbers, but the value is that they remove stress. They solve problems. So an accountant could say, I am an accountant. I help people not worry about their taxes. Or I help businesses understand their money.
I help people not worry. That is a beautiful way to describe a job. It connects on a human level again.
Everyone knows the stress of money.
Let's try a service job. Maybe you work in a coffee shop or a clothing store. It is easy to just say, I am a shop assistant.
But using our formula, we could say, I work in retail. I help people find things that make them feel good.
Exactly. The structure is, I work in field, but mostly I action that helps people.
Let's practice this one. Listeners, think about your own job for a second. What is the value? Who do you help?
Let's shadow a few examples. First, for someone who works in IT or computers.
Instead of I fix computers, try this. I work in IT. I basically solve problems so people can get their work done.
Repeat that. I basically solve problems so people can get their work done.
Notice the word basically. We use this a lot in spoken English when we are simplifying a complex job. I basically.
Yes, it signals that you are giving the simple human version, not the technical version. Let's try one for a teacher. Instead of just, I am a teacher, which is a label.
Try, I am a teacher. I basically try to make difficult ideas interesting for kids.
That sounds like a challenge. I basically try to make difficult ideas interesting for kids.
And one for a student. Being a student is a full-time job too.
I am a student. I'm basically trying to survive my final exams right now.
That is very relatable. I'm basically trying to survive my final exams right now.
By adding that little description of struggle or help, you become a person, not just a job title.
This is great. We have the specific slice for hobbies, the why for feelings, and the value for work. But Anna, I think the hardest part is doing it in the moment, when the pressure is on. You are right. Understanding the theory is one thing. Doing it when someone is looking at you is another. So we are going to do a simulation.
A simulation?
Yes, we are going to role play. I want to invite our listener to step into a scene with us. Mark, you are going to be their colleague. You are in the office kitchen making coffee. It is a Tuesday morning.
Okay, I'm stirring my coffee. I see you standing there.
I want you to ask the listener a question. And listeners, I want you to answer out loud. Do not just think the answer. Speak it to the room. Use one of the formulas we learned. You can use mostly but lately or because it makes me feel.
Are you ready? Okay, here I go. Hey, good to see you. You look a bit tired. Did you have a busy weekend?
Okay, stop. How did you do? Did you just say yes or did you build a bridge?
Let's give them a model answer. If you asked me that, I would say, yeah, a little bit. I was gardening all weekend. It was hard work, but it makes me feel so relaxed to be outside.
Perfect. You admitted you were tired, but you added the positive feeling. Let's try one more. This time a hobby question.
So I need a recommendation. I am bored of my playlist. What kind of music are you into?